Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gwendolyn Ray and thank you for joining me today. So I'm trying to make sure the music isn't too loud to make sure you can hear me. Okay. According to the volume, you can hear me now. So I'm kind of late going live, but I'm just going to go through this article pretty quickly because I have to go pick up my husband from work and I'm late getting on this live. I had a lot of stuff to do with the kids and I cooked a meal in an Instant Pot and it wasn't instant. Okay, it took me about an hour to cook it. So I'm gonna go through this article now. If you want to, you can use the link in the chat in order to go look at it yourself. So I'm gonna copy and paste it right now. Hey girl, hi the art family. Thank you for coming to the live. It's gonna be a short live today, but I'm so glad you came. So I'm gonna put the article in the chat now, so if I can pull it up fast enough, I'm a little faster now, I'm getting better at this. Okay, I'm getting better. So how was your day today? Today is Sunday, tomorrow is school. Do you have everything done? Are you ready for tomorrow? Let me see if I can pin it. Okay, I pinned it. Look at me. I'm so decent. All right, so let me pull this up now and look at it. I actually like that song that's playing. Okay, so let's start the article. Okay, wait, but before we start, okay, if you haven't already, please go and check out my link. I'm going to leave the link in the chat too for this mug. This is the All I Need Is Coffee and Mascara mug, and this is one of my favorite mugs so far. I think it's because how cute it is. Like, it has all the little makeup containers on it and brushes, and girls love makeup. But tonight I have something different in my cup. It's not tea. You can guess what it is in the chat if you want. I'll let you know if you're right or wrong, but just know it's good. Okay. So the art family says, the other day I had thought about doing a response video to one of your videos. Ooh, I had so much to say about it. The one where the woman wanted to keep working. It would take me forever to type it all. You should do a response video and tag me in it, because like I said, this needs to be a discussion. I know I'm not the only person that looked at it in a way where it could have been solved in a different way, or whatever your view, why is there a fly here? Whatever your views may have been, maybe somebody out there can benefit from your thoughts. So I think you should do it. Listen, I'll watch it, I'll comment, and I'll share it too. So let me know. So the title of this article is called How Resentment Over Invisible Work Could Eventually Ruin Your Marriage. So I'm going to pull this up because I did make a little, so I made a little screenshot, so maybe you could look at it a little bit. This is as best as I can get. That article is long, so okay. So how resentment over invisible work could eventually ruin your marriage. It says, over time, and especially after kids, we resent our partners. We resent our partners for engaging in activities that make them happy. The more isolated the division of labor at home, the higher woman's resentment peaks. But there is a solution, writes Fair Play's Eve Rodsky. I don't know who that is, but this article is by Eve Rodsky. I think I'm saying it right. And the article is on the Bazaar's page, and Bazaar, as you know, is like a magazine. So this article was read by a lot of people. So the second part says, pop quiz. What would you do for yourself outside of family life with one free hour in the day? In other words, if you were gifted a 25th hour, how would you happily spend it? I formulated this question one Sunday morning as I sat with my friend Marie at her family-sized kitchen dining table in the suburban White Plains of New York. Swapping stories about raising young kids and growing up in Manhattan, her husband Dave trotted downstairs and breezed into the kitchen wearing shorts, running shoes, and earbuds. He waved a courtesy morning, and as he filled up his water bottle at the sink, Marie leaned in and whispered, "He's training for a marathon, and Sunday mornings are his long runs." I don't know that word. But she was upset, basically. She rolled her eyes, meaning I'll be left alone with the kids all day. Wow. Dave popped out his earbuds. I heard that, and I won't be gone all day. Did you mention that you were out until 2 this morning with your girlfriends? Okay, so this story is pretty long, so I'm going to skip the story. But the story basically is talking about how the couple, they have problems with each other. Let me see if I can move this. They have problems with each other having free time, basically, and doing something that makes them happy, like whatever their hobbies may be. So for him, the father, his hobby is that he likes to run. So he does a marathon probably at least once a year. And she goes out and parties with her girlfriends, right? And it seems like he has no problem with that. But in this story, he did bring it up because she was upset. So I'm getting hot. My heat is up really high right now. So if you see me fanning myself, it's because it's getting hot in here. But so basically she seemed a little jealous and she was upset that she would be left with the kids. But it's like, you have to be fair at the end of the day. Like, you have to be. So this is one of the parts I wanted to bring up. I don't think I was able to screenshot it, but if you have the link, go and look at it as I look at it. It says, what would you do for yourself outside of family life in 1 free hour in a day, which I asked earlier. So they have this chart that they created. It's called the happiness trio. And the first category is adult friendships. The second category is identity of passion and pursuits. And the third category is self-care. It says for the adult friendships to grab dinner with your best friend, boozy brunch with girls, watch the Rams game with your buddy, that's probably for guys. Identity and passion pursuits is to outline chapter 5 of my novel. These are just examples, by the way. Browse around at Michael's for new paintbrushes. Sorry, I couldn't see it. And start a vision board for my business idea. Go to the driving range and get an extra hour of marathon training, which is what the dad was doing. And then the third one, which is ladies, our favorite, is to self-care. So one of them is I would finally get my teeth clean. So technically that is self-care, right? Getting your teeth clean. I need to get mine clean, by the way. I'm just so afraid of dentists. Like, I hate the dentist. The second one is neighborhood run to the Hamilton soundtrack, which I understand. I probably would bike instead. I'm not really a runner, so I can't relate to that one. Meditate, which is self-care, and read in bed. I have been wanting to do this lately, but I feel like it's rude to like pull out your phone or pull out a book and just start like reading next to your partner. Even though he's on his phone often, I just feel like I'm supposed to be available, for whatever. And I feel like if I'm distracted, then technically I'm not available. But maybe this is something that I probably should just do. So I don't know. So I'm going to skip down to the part that I really wanted to read to you. Sustainable homes to discuss. Where is it at? Okay, so it says engaging in at least one of these three is how my interviewees would prefer to spend their free time, assuming they have any. When I ask the same data set if or why they weren't already making time for adult relationships, self-care, and activities that stroke their passion, both men and women pointed to their partners. Wow, they blamed it on the other person. Or the invisible work left to them by their partners, which often goes unseen and unrecognized by their partners as their reason for disengaging from these activities. Some of my favorite responses. So here are a few of the responses that they gave. One of them was, I know I should do more for myself, but I'm already taking care of a house, the kids, and an endless list of mental chores. Even when I schedule me time, I rarely get to it. It's just one more thing to do. Of course, my husband found time to golf this weekend. So it's also like a hint of jealousy when they tend to like give their reason why, which is messed up. Like your partner should be able to enjoy themselves too and have their own hobbies. Like, it's like, come on, y'all gonna be together forever, so y'all have to be able to have time apart and be able to enjoy whatever those separate things are, because you're not gonna have everything in common. That's not common. You're gonna have things that your partner doesn't like, and those are gonna be the things that you do without them. So the second response was, we've all heard the phrase, marriage is work. Yeah. And more aptly, marriage feels like all work and not a lot of play. So I actually what can I say about this one? I can relate to this a little bit. And the reason why is because once I got married, I think I just assumed that it was going to be a whole lot of date nights and like us going out all the time and just doing things together all the time, maybe having family days all the time. And when I say all the time, I mean like at least twice a week. That was my standard, of course. But that's something that just does not happen. And I get what they mean when they say not a lot of play, because honestly, at the end of the day, marriage is also duty. So during a marriage, you're not catering to your partner, but you're more so just fulfilling your responsibilities, just as a parent, as a wife, or as a husband. There are things that you personally have to do to maintain a lifestyle that you have. For instance, work, or if you if you have a job, or even if you stay home and you do things, there are things you have to keep up with. Like if I take a day and I don't do anything around the house, the next day, like I'm swamped with a list of things to do. Like when I say swamped, I mean like I have 3 boys. So like even if we don't go anywhere, I have a load of laundry, a load sometimes 2, because they're swapping their clothes all day, or they're going through the drawers and throwing stuff out on the floor. And when it's on the floor, I just consider it as dirty clothes. That's just me. Maybe do you do that too? Like if it's on the floor, it's dirty clothes. I don't care how long it's been there, it's dirty. So like things like that. For instance, you can't go a day without washing dishes. Like that's something you just have to do. You can't just leave them in the sink until the next day. So you just have a lot of responsibilities. There are things that you just have to do. And if the partner works a lot, or whoever may work a lot, if both of them work, they really don't have time for each other. And I can see that, it makes sense. Okay, so the third one says, on our first date, I remember my husband asked me, what do you do for fun? I haven't heard that question again in 15 years. Oh, that's so sad. So I don't know why she doesn't understand that he or she, oh no, it says my husband. So I'm assuming that this is a woman, this is a wife that says that. Most likely your partner is not going to ask you again, what do you do for fun? Even though it has been a long time, that's a question that he's already asked you. But most likely he probably sees the things that you do, and especially if you talk a lot, like being able to talk to your partner, he won't have to ask questions like that. He'll already see what you do, like what you make time for. He'll already know that's what you do for fun. So that would be kind of a weird question to even ask, at least to me. I don't know. The fourth one is, there is just no way my husband would be cool with me leaving home on the weekend for play rehearsals. Local theater has always been my creative outlet, but the reality is that I'm going to have to wait until the kids are older to return to the stage. So what she's saying is kind of true, honestly. But I think there may be other ways where she can express, like she said, her creative outlet. Doing theater on the weekends. It says leaving him on the weekend for play rehearsals. I don't know. I guess she would have to wait till her children are older. I don't know how old they are. It doesn't state their age. But if you have really, really young children, you may have to, or you can get a sitter. Like maybe ask a family member to watch them. That's what I would do if I really want to do this and I can't do it without having someone caring for our children, and my husband either has to work or these are his only days off. That's what I would do. Or you can just communicate that with him and let him know this is something that you're really interested in. And maybe, for instance, most plays, they'll do rehearsal between a certain amount of time, and then they'll have the actual play. So I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be, at least I wouldn't think it would be longer than like 6 months to a year, which to me is not a lot, but I don't know what their situation is. So I don't know. That's what I would do. I would just talk to him. Oh, it's two more. It says, I worked 60 hours in the office this week, and on Saturday, my wife wants me to work extra and watch the kids for 2 hours so she can get a foot massage. When do I get my downtime? Listen, sir, you are just complaining. I'm sorry. This is a complaint. This one is just a complaint. He said 2 hours. 2 hours is not even that long. I could take a nap for 2 hours. He could take a nap for 2 hours. Like, depending on how old the kids are, you set them up on, well, my kids, set them up on some Minecraft. Set them up with like a movie and some popcorn. A movie is like an hour and a half. Give them a ton of snacks. This is easy. Dad is just crazy, okay? Mom needs some sort of time. And she said 2 hours to get a foot massage. Does a foot massage really take 2 hours? Why do I feel like that's long? Is that long? I don't even know. I have some comments that I need to be reading. Let me move this out the way. How do I move this thing? Oh no. Oh, there you go. Let's X out this article. And there's the comments. Okay, so this is from the Art Family. My thoughts. She said, I may indeed, because that woman needs a reality check. I know that's right. She do need a reality check. She's talking about one of my previous videos. So if you want to go check out my last, I did 4 lives, but I think she may be talking about the second one, if I'm not mistaken. And her other comment is, I'll work on that this week. I know that's right. Please work on that, because I really want to see that video. So the Art Family, she's actually going to go and do a response video to the article that I spoke about in I think my second live. So y'all should go check her channel out. Please go check her channel out. So the fourth one is, I want to make time to run every weekend. It's important to me, but my wife hates me for it. Listen, sir, sometimes you just have to ignore that lady, okay? Because I feel like this. I would feel like this if my husband had a problem with me going to the gym, because y'all know I like to work out. So if he was like, I'm so sick of you going to the gym every day, you always leaving me here with the kids, I would be like, I'm sorry, but I love you, babe. And I would give him a kiss and I would leave. That's not something to get a divorce over, so I'm sorry, he's just going to have to deal with it. So the Art Family left another comment. She says, the one who told his wife to work at one point, and then told her she could quit if quit is what I'm talking about. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, so he told her she had to start working because he had got 2 pay cuts. That's what happened. And to me, it's like, okay, you know that the situation changed. You're going to have to get a part-time job. And if I'm not mistaken, this is also the lady that only had to work for her husband part-time. Is it that her? She had to work for her husband part-time, answering phones in the house. She didn't even have to leave. I'm like, girl, get it together. If that's the one you're talking about, yes, please Please do a response video. I need to hear this because some of these people, misery loves company, and I feel like she probably was miserable when she started that job, and then like she was just acting a fool. I don't know. All right, let me keep going. What am I doing? Okay, it says so. The writer says, "Aha! What became clear to me the more I dug into the happiness trio is that over time, and especially after kids, the very things that make us the happiest are what our partners resent most about us." Sounds counterintuitive, right? But what I discover is that when there is perceived unfairness or unclear expectations in the household division of labor, we resent our partners for engaging in activities that make them happy, and it goes both ways. So, listen, the reason why I bring up some of these articles is because I can relate to some of them, or I've seen this situation before. And this one specifically about how you may resent your partner because of their like extracurricular activities or whatever is because I used to be so mad at my husband. And the reason why is because I felt like I was swamped with things to do. And this is also when I was working too. So I think that may play a big part in it. But he would play video games and he would play for hours. And I would be so angry because I'm like, he's enjoying himself and I am tired. So all I can do is fall asleep. I have no time to do anything for myself. And I was just crazy. I used to be so mad at him for playing games, okay? I don't feel like that anymore because like I found time for myself and I've learned myself and I know when I should work and do things, and I've learned how to make time. And it's also a conversation I have with him. I know that I can talk to him now and say, listen, babe, I need help with such and such. Do you mind helping me out here? Even though I don't really need that much help now anymore. But back then, if I was able to just have the conversation with him, I wouldn't have been so upset. Also, another thing is that like I didn't really have hobbies. So when I did have free time, like what was I gonna do with it? The only thing I knew to do was to go out. I didn't know like, oh, there's like skills you can learn. There's books you can read. You don't even have to leave the house per se to have time for yourself. So like I'm a lot more mature now, but when I was younger, oh, it would eat me alive to watch him, to have a what is it called, a joystick, to have a joystick in his hand and be joyful. I would be so angry. So that's why I picked this article, because I can relate. Okay. The next part says, when our partners engage in fill in the blank while we're stuck making multiple school lunches at 10 p.m., we feel treated unfairly, wronged, jealous of our partner's time to pursue happiness. I found that the more lopsided the division of labor, the higher woman's resentment peaked. In fact, according to the findings from Nadstal, I don't know who Nadstal is, I'm sorry. 21.2% of married women aged 16 to 74 reported not sharing enough housework as a reason for live-in partnership breakdown, i.e. divorce. So this is why I made this the title of my video, because things like this can actually break up your marriage, even a relationship, even if you're not married. When you don't have clear when it's not a clear expectation between both partners on what their roles are or what needs to be done between the two, or if you don't have like a clear communication, or if you don't talk to your partner enough where you can just be like, you can be open with them, like, listen, I couldn't catch up on such and such. Do you mind helping out a little bit this week to help me catch up on whatever the thing is? For instance, like as you know, I make homemade laundry detergent, and for me, sometimes I don't get to the part of like breaking it up, and it takes me a long time to do it because it just takes me so long. Okay, my husband is a lot better at it, so once I realize, oh crap, he's better at it than I am, I'm going to start asking him for help and not just be down here chopping laundry detergent when I'm like, well, he's upstairs doing such and such, he could help me, and instead of being upset about it, I can just ask for help. If I need help with washing clothes, because like I said, there's always tons of laundry in my house. So if I need help, I can just talk to him and ask him. And now, like, our relationship is a little bit different, whereas though he works, so I do all the house stuff basically, unless it's something that like probably only a man can do, like hammering something or fixing technology. Like, I'm horrible at that, so he knows that if it comes to anything electronic, anything that involves like the furnace or like the walls, or like I'm not doing it. I might paint, but he's the fixer guy. He fixes everything. He does those things, and I do the things, the other ladylike things, like I'll wash dishes, I clean. Well, I have my son clean the bathroom a couple times a week, but I'll do it in between. And then my kids help with chores as well. I don't know why I didn't bring that up. So like, there's a division of labor between all of us, and because all of us help out, like, it doesn't feel like that much. But something like this actually can break up your marriage. I've heard things like complaints from wives, like they're saying here, where it's too much for them to do, and they feel like they can't get it done and still have time for themselves. So like, basically the moral of this story, of this article, is that you need to have clear expectations between you and your partner, and knowing what needs to be done between who. Because if you wait to the last minute, you never know how that can end. Someone may feel like they're neglected, or they're looked over, or that you don't care about them because they're stuck doing so much work. So that's really the moral of this article. I actually have to go, so I'm going to cut this live short, and I want to thank you for coming to watch this live. Thank you for consistently coming, because I've had like almost the same amount of people each time, and I'm like really happy. I don't know everybody. I know the art family comes, and I do know Tania, the stay-at-home wife of Atlanta. I know she stops by too. And I just want to thank you so much for coming. Please make sure you check out my link. I'm going to put the link in there for my mug. So if you want that mug, please go check it out, okay? Get it, order it. And if you don't know what to do, just be naturally you. And if you have any comments, or if you have any advice, make sure you leave it in the comment section. That way other people will be able to read it, and they may be able to get some information where it can help them out as well. So I'll see you in my next video, and if you don't know what to do, just be naturally you. Bye.